Hey folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you just landed here, hit like, hit subscribe. You'd be doing me a great favor if you did that. Today, we're gonna go over Frank Tufano and 4 reasons why he quit the carnivore diet after 8 years. I have a hard time believing that he did the carnivore diet strict for 8 years. For those of you that don't know, the carnivore diet is where you eat primarily meats, but you also can include eggs and fish. The diet consists of not having any carbs, so you can't have any fruits, rice, potatoes, or anything like that. So you have to have a pretty strict diet. They even limit milk. I do not agree with the carnivore diet. I think that you should have a little bit of carbs in your diet, in my opinion. Now, are there times that you can go without carbs? Yes, there are. You want to get your metabolism healthy. Let's begin.
Very sick.
All right, folks. First, I want to let you know I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a dietitian. If you need to change your diet or get any medical advice, diet advice, make sure you go see your MD. Okay, folks? Let's roll.
Certainly not feeling like I was on death's door. I do still have my...
He said he was on death's door, so I don't know anything about that, like exactly what happened. If any of you viewers know, go ahead and leave a comment. I have no idea. That sounds pretty bad. That something happened, so he was obviously doing something pretty drastic with his diet while he was eating like this.
Carnivore meal plan available on frank-tufano.com if you sign up.
And just to let you folks know, I don't agree with like one special diet. If you're going to do a diet, it should just be for a period of time and then get off of it. Eating food should be a lifestyle change. There shouldn't be, oh, I'm going to do this diet and then this diet and this diet. If you are, they should be for short term.
That is pretty cool.
It should be more, I'm more of a proponent of getting your metabolism healthy, getting your like blood pressure normal, get your metabolism healthy, get your blood work looking good. I'm more of a proponent of that. I'm more on longevity side. If you would have known me 20 years ago, I would have been more into the performance of it because I was younger, I was in my 20s, but now it's more for longevity. So that's what this is, the focus of this channel is more longevity. Performance is a different thing.
Low vitamin C. Although the carnivore diet does contain some vitamin C, and you certainly won't develop scurvy following it, the amount is nowhere near ideal. Without enough vitamin C, you won't be able to...
You do have a low amount of vitamin C in the diet. The meats do have a small amount, particularly beef liver has actually a fair amount of vitamin C, and some of the organs, I think, do have vitamin C in them. So if you're doing this diet and you're not eating the organ meats, you're probably not going to get hardly any vitamin C, if any. My assumption. I would have to take a look at the profiles of some of the meats. If you're active during the summer, where you're sweating a lot, you're active, maybe riding the bike. I'm not talking about super active, just riding a bike, walking around, you're out in the sun, sweating. I would not recommend a type of diet like this. I would definitely get some vitamin C and a little bit more carbs into your diet. That's just my opinion. I eat more carbs during the summer and then I eat less carbs during the winter. That's how I like to do it.
Environment compared to our ancestors. You know, there's a reason I wear a silver shirt all day. It's not... Even
during a carnivore diet, I would recommend for somebody, if I was going to do a diet like this, a few times during the week, I would still be eating a potato. I would be getting bell peppers, or both of those are high in vitamin C, just getting in. So I wouldn't even be a carnivore. I'm not really too... The issue with the carnivore, in my opinion, is that you need to make sure you're getting your meats and eating them lightly cooked as possible. If you're going to eat processed meats like the bacons from the store, and you're going to eat processed meats and well done cooked meats all the time, you're going to have a lot of problems, what he's talking about right here.
Because I want to sweat my guts out. Without higher amounts of vitamin C, your body will have a difficult time regulating certain nutrients, especially copper, iron, magnesium, and vitamin A, which we will touch on later. Even initially on a carnivore diet, people do feel...
My question would be, why didn't he just supplement with vitamin C while he was on the diet? If it was an issue for him after 8 years, you think he would have figured that out?
Energized when supplementing or consuming high vitamin C foods. Something. Number 2, we have dysbiosis, which is simply an imbalanced gut microbiome. Too much of certain bacteria, not enough of others. And I've heard many carnivores say, oh, my gut is perfectly healthy. Yet they're pooping out a rock every 3 days. And anytime they eat something that's not carnivore...
He says they're pooping out a rock every 3 days. How does he know that? Is he there watching them do that? I mean, how does he know? He said that they're fine. So I would take their word for it that they say that their digestive system is fine during a carnivore diet. I will say this, once you go more towards carnivore, if you're not used to it and you're coming off more of an American standard diet, you go into more carnivore, if you're eating more processed foods like processed meats and the processed, if you can eat cheeses. I'm not sure if you can eat cheese on the carnivore diet, but if you're eating the cheeses and stuff that are not raw milk cheese, you're going to have these issues for sure. I've tested out myself. So raw milk cheese, I'm a proponent of raw milk cheese. You will have less digestive problems with raw milk cheese. You'll have less digestive problems if you lightly cook your meat. If you like to eat sushi, you'll have less digestive problems. You will be able to digest this stuff and avoid a lot of these issues if you eat like that on this type of diet. I'm not saying that I am a proponent of this diet. I'm just saying this is the things that you might want to do. So if you like to eat well-cooked, well-done steak all the time, you're going to have more propensity to have these problems here.
Dietary habits. In the past, all of us consumed a variety of cooked, raw, and fermented foods to feed different types of gut bacteria.
I'll agree with them right there. We had a variety of it, cooked, raw, and fermented foods. That's where I am more of a proponent of when it comes to a diet, especially if you're going to do something like this. What I would do, what I recommend is they keep the dairy out. I like to keep the dairy in because you can get the probiotics and the prebiotics from the raw milk and let it ferment a little bit, and you don't have any of these issues. I've done plenty of experiments on myself and it works just fine. If you want to throw in some carbohydrates and reload yourself once a week, I would do that too. That's what I would do. I wouldn't, if I was going to do a carnivore diet, I would do it, say, maybe for a couple weeks, and then I would reload. I would be doing a hybrid type diet with something like this because, you know, for one, for your average person, eating meats all the time does get expensive, and it's probably not too practical. You can do it on the cheap, but it can be difficult for a lot of people. So I want to talk about what most people can do.
Amounts of fermented meat, rotten fish on a consistent basis to make up for their diet's lack of carbohydrates.
Yeah, so like the Eskimos up in the Alaska range in Canada, they ate a lot of fermented meats. I don't like fermented meat. I don't like the taste of it. It's, you know, what you would call rotten meat. I like fermented milk. I like to do it with milk. I think kefir would be another one. I've never had any kefir, so I don't know. I need to try it. I know you can make it, so I've been lazy. I haven't want to make it, but I can get raw milk for $5 a gallon. Let it sit in the refrigerator for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, let it ferment a little bit, and I get everything. It's right there. It's very simple. That's what I recommend for most people that don't want to go through the process of fermenting meat, fermenting all these other products and stuff like that. It does work. I've tested it. It works great.
Instead of physically feeding the gut bacteria with starch, sugar, whatever it may be, they consume the bacteria itself to keep the gut consistently populated. As carnivore dieters brag about their low bowel frequency, they also brag about not having fiber in the diet, which leads us to number 3, a lack of gut motility.
This guy's being like a little bit of a showman. I mean, like, I don't think carnivore diet people are going around bragging about not having fiber in their diet. That sounds kind of childish to me. So he's kind of bringing this on. Frank Tufano is bringing this on in a little bit of a childish way. I don't think people are going around bragging about not having fiber in their diet. I mean, come on, man.
I am hyperabsorbed. So what
the food is going to sit, and he's saying hyperabsorbed. I'm not really too sure what he means by that. Here's what I found through my own experience doing some tests. If you're going to eat processed meat that's overcooked, like well-done meat, you're going to have low gut motility, what he's calling it. You're going to have a hard time going to the bathroom, especially if you're switching into this diet. If you eat lightly cooked meat, lightly cooked, like rare steaks, you eat sushis, you eat raw eggs, you're not going to have these problems at all. I've tested it. It's fine. Your body can absorb it and digest it, no problem. I mean, it's common for people to go have raw fish, sushi. And I'm not talking about the California rolls and all these avocado rolls and cucumber rolls. That's not sushi. I'm talking about the raw fish. Eat that raw fish and your body will be able to digest it and you will not be blocked up at all. I've tested it on me. It worked just fine.
Whatever is in that food, it's really getting sucked in by the liver, small intestine, those initial parts of digestion.
I think, in my opinion, I'm going to make an assumption here on Frank. What I think that he did is I think he ate a lot of processed, a lot of stuff out of a box. He was ordering meats I saw some of his diets. I've reviewed some of his videos, but he was probably ordering a lot of stuff that was processed, and he maybe made it at home and it was processed, cooked meats and things like that. He started having these issues. If you're going to do the carnivore diet, strictly carnivore diet, you want to have your foods as raw as possible when you want to eat them to avoid a lot of these issues. The vitamin C issue, I would not recommend just you can't have a bell pepper once a week. I mean, say, for example, if you did that just once a week or twice a week, you would avoid that issue. So I would have a bell pepper or something like that, or maybe even potato. I don't think anybody needs to be strict carnivore like this unless they're doing something for health reasons. They have allergies, for example, to try to figure out what's going on. I can understand that. Most of you are not going to be doing a bodybuilding competition, so I wouldn't recommend doing these strict of diets. I mean, the strict of a diet, it's just not necessary.
Deficient in certain things, but the life-changing symptoms from nutrient imbalances on a carnivore diet take a little while. The lack of copper and magnesium.
With any diet, you're changing your diet. It's going to take a little while. If you have a deficiency in any minerals or vitamins like that, it's going to take a while. I don't care what diet you're going to do. If he did it over 8 years, and he's basically implying that he was deficient in copper, calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, selenium, trace minerals, why wasn't he taking care of this at year 2 or year 3? That's my question.
Two big ones that you should definitely supplement: selenium, that is normally higher in seafood, and some of the.
But if you have to start supplementing, if you're on a diet like this and you have to start supplementing these minerals and vitamins, then you have to start questioning the diet. I'm not against supplementation. If you need to do it, just go ahead and do it. But your diet should be able to supply, you know, the majority of your vitamins and minerals. If you're getting deficient, then something's wrong. You need to fix it.
Trace minerals that are higher in certain plants. If these mineral imbalances are out of whack, you might experience.
You know, if you're going to eat raw eggs, you're not going to be deficient in vitamin D. If you're eating pasture-raised eggs in the raw, you shouldn't be deficient in vitamin D. That's D3 in those eggs, those egg yolks. And your body, as far now, I'm going to quote Dr. Berg on this, the guy that the chiropractor that had said it. He said 48% of a cooked egg with a yolk is absorbed and turned into tissue. That's what he said. I don't know where he got that information. I wouldn't be surprised if a raw egg's even higher, like 55 or 60% of that egg is going to be turned into tissue into your body, the absorption of that egg. What's higher than that? He said breast milk. So breast milk is basically raw milk. It just comes from a human. If you get it from a cow, which is raw milk, that's going to be breast milk too. That's just, you know, supposed to be for the cow, but we can drink that. So the absorption of that's going to be extremely high too.
You probably have to donate blood to reduce iron and supplement.
I reckon that for men that are older and are eating a high red meat diet, I do it. I donate blood. I just donated blood the other day, about 2 weeks ago.
Quite a few things to make a carnivore diet work. So we touched briefly on each of these problems. And
if you're going to donate blood on a regular, be careful if you're active, because you will eventually get weak. Like they keep bugging me, hey, donate blood, donate blood. I did it for like 3 or 4 months in a row. And I was really active with a lot of biking and walking and doing some exercises. Also, too, I was throwing in some fasts in there, like 3-day fast, 5-day fast. During this time frame it was going on, and I was starting to get weak. I had to take a break from donating blood.
Of how to incorporate high quality animal food. All
right, folks, that's the end of the video. He went over everything. His 4 main points: low vitamin C, having low gut motility is another problem, nutrient imbalances, and not eating plants and not putting certain items in there. I think the dairy, I have to take a look at the carnivore diet. I'm not sure if you can add in dairy, but I'm pretty sure it's no fish and eggs, fish and eggs. So with Frank's diet, I find it highly suspicious that he kept this diet for 8 years. He was on point for 8 years. Like he didn't throw in, he didn't cheat. Why is he going on with these problems? Is this his new strategy? Is he being truthful? What's going on here? Once you find a diet that works for you, excuse me, I don't want to say a diet. Once you are just starting to eat natural foods, and that includes carbs, fats, and proteins, you shouldn't have any problem. It should be able to last you lifelong. There shouldn't even be one diet. I will say this though, if you eat a natural diet and you get your metabolism healthy, it'll be a lot easier to burn fat. I found that out. Easy. So somebody who's been absorbed with processed foods will have a really hard time burning fat. I found that through my own experience. And then once I got my metabolism healed where I'm burning carbs or fats, no problem. I can get up, do a 3-day fast, not a big deal. And once that happened, I'm on the natural foods. If I raise up my activity a little bit, I can strip the fat off real easy. Like I was 22 years old. That's the thing that I've noticed the most with a natural diet, where I eat lightly cooked meats, I eat raw milk, I eat raw eggs. I'm an advocate of raw milk cheese. And also I do eat potatoes and fruits, watermelon, peppers, even onions, though I cook the onions in lard or beef tallow with steak. So I'm a proponent of a diet like that, where it's just more towards the natural side and it's more rounded. All right, folks, that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a favor, hit the like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.